Hello, hello. My name is Ashlee, and welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be reacting to Cenk. I don't know, just playing the victim, I guess, but we'll get into that. Sorry if you hear my cat in the background. She just had her teeth taken out. Well, 5. She just had 5 of her teeth taken out, and she was like really sleepy and stuff. That has worn off, and now she feels better, so she is very active. Like, I feel really bad. Like, I feel like she needs a friend because she is like constantly wanting to play, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. So yeah. That's her in the background. Anyway, that's not what you're here for. You are here to watch Cenk. So we're gonna watch Emma and Francesca talk about Cenk, and I watched this video the other day, and it drove me crazy. So yeah, I'm excited to react to it. So let's go. She's playing with her bird right now. So if you hear bird sounds, that's what it is. I tried like cat TV. That only worked for so long. Anyway, let's get to it.
Cenk fired shots at me, and I kind of want your thoughts on them.
Okay, go for it, Queen. I mean, look, let's be messy. I'm down for it.
So
I love Emma. She's like, let's be messy. I'm down for it. I love Emma.
In the winter of 2024, December, when Donald Trump had been reelected, obviously I was kind of seeing the writing on the wall when it came to TYT. I knew that,
she's losing her mind in the other room. Okay, anyway, I'm sorry.
That based on Anna specifically, but then Cenk's cozying up to the right, my time was limited. They stopped booking me on the main show for basically about a year. And I only would go on John's show, and then less and less on any kind of guest spots and this and that.
And it sucks because John wanted Francesca to keep coming on the show, but Cenk had essentially like banned her from TYT, or didn't want her coming on TYT anymore. And it wasn't just Cenk. Like, Anna was going after Francesca for months after that, and still kind of does. But it's wild that now, after so long, after being proven wrong a countless number of times, after Cenk becoming the centrist that he has always hated, that he is still talking about Francesca and still trying to call out Francesca for what? I don't know.
So I finally had this debate with Cenk, and we have this long debate where I was like, why are you going on all these right-wing shows?
Yes.
What are you doing? And this was his like moment where he was trying to have a beer with the right, to show them that we have more in common than
with Charlie Kirk. Like, literally was on stage with Charlie Kirk, if you all remember that. And was being so like, it was so funny the way he was talking to them, because he was like, oh, we all hate Mitch McConnell, right? And he used that as like, oh, see, we all agree on so much. Dude, yeah, everyone hates Mitch McConnell. Okay? Like, what are you talking about? And then I think it was either Charlie or someone else decided to ask him about trans people, and Cenk didn't know what to say. And of course he threw trans people under the bus, but it's like, okay, now you can't sit here and play nice and be like, oh, we're just friends, everything will be okay, we both hate Mitch McConnell. No, you were sitting on a stage and sitting in a room with people who are fascist, and that's what they want, are fascist policies, and you're like, oh, we can get along, we can be friends. It's ridiculous.
And then we think. And that, I think, in his words, basically like, some of us are good and some of us are trans. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like,
and if we are trans, we're not going to like argue for trans rights and things like this. And so
Ridiculous.
he made, that case to me. Now,
pathetic.
recently,
I remember that
Cenk
debate.
was banned from entering the UK. Now, just give me your sense. And he was banned because of his speech around Israel. He was banned also.
I mean, we should say is absolutely outrageous and psychotic, and same thing with Hassan. Yeah.
Yes, he was banned along with Hassan. And also, the question I have is, who did the banning?
Was it the UK?
Was it the UK or was it the US?
Interesting. I mean, to be honest, I would think that it would be the UK, given the fact that they have much more lax free speech laws there, and also, maybe lax.
Not lax.
Yeah, not lax. I was gonna say not lax. No,
censorious.
the free speech laws in the UK are not lax at all.
Oh, of course, it's the UK.
Yeah.
They were going there for South by Southwest in the UK or whatever, and of course it's the United Kingdom. They have been. I mean, if you hold a Palestine flag, if you chant from the river to the sea, they are criminalizing Europe and Britain are criminalizing Palestine speech. Honestly, they're kind of outpacing the United States when it comes to Palestine speech.
They are. I think it's God. I forgot the organization. Should have taken her balls away before I started recording this. She has these like balls with bells in them that she's like a little soccer player. She loves running around and just happens to be very loud, unfortunately. Okay, let's keep going. Palestinian action, that's what I was talking about. So Palestinian action, I think that's the name of the group in the UK that now they've just been like arresting protesters just simply because they're protesting for Palestine. And it's egregious. It's egregious. Like, the UK is not going down a good path.
All of that is awful. No one should be banned. I think it's bad.
Yes.
But Cenk is using the fact that he was banned as sort of a badge of honor to say that Francesca was wrong about him not being in the crosshairs of this regime, and he knows more than anyone else, right? And so
but it wasn't this. What she's trying, like the point she was trying to make is that it's not Trump that is doing this, right? You're not in the crosshairs of Trump. That's not who you're in the crosshairs of. You're in the crosshairs of the UK. Which again, the UK has smoke for like everyone who's pro-Palestine, which is again egregious. Like what they're doing in the UK is insane. But it's not the right wing here that is giving you flack for that, right? It's actually a different country.
Show you sort of like that, I'll tee that up, and then I'll show you his response, because what he told me, and good old Hank, is bringing all the receipts. He told me basically like, his strategy of meeting the right where they're at, all the way in fascism land, is actually the best strategy to protect vulnerable communities. It's the best strategy to protect Muslims. It's the best strategy to protect immigrants. This is the best strategy. Now, mind you, he had already privately told me that he was totally fine with Stephen Miller and DHS under Trump rounding up the criminals. He said that to me verbatim.
Which is insane, because it was never about the criminals, and it's never been about the criminals. And I feel like every single person knew that when they were saying, oh, mass deportations now. I mean, by that point I had stopped watching TYT, so I know Anna, she really got into being xenophobic and to go after immigrants. She very much got into that. But I wasn't watching TYT at this point. But, like, everyone knew what not everyone, but everyone who didn't vote for this shit knew what mass deportations meant, right? And everyone kept saying that mass deportations are not what you think they are. They are not going to, not that would be okay anyway, but you know, this idea that they're getting all these criminals out and all these criminals came in, it's just bullshit. It always has been and it always will be. It was bullshit. And it was bullshit to get people to vote for Donald Trump. And now here we are, where you have these same people who voted for Trump, these podcast bros, and a bunch of other people who are now coming to the realization that they can no longer stand up for Trump because Trump doesn't stand for anything, and he doesn't stand for the things that they thought he did, and that all the things that he said he was going to do are much worse and are more harmful than I guess they had originally thought. And it's wild that Cenk fell for that. And it's also like, you're an immigrant. You're an immigrant, and you think that somehow someone, a Nazi like Stephen Miller, would just you think that he's just gonna go after criminals? Again, that was never the case. That was always a lie. But like, you really think if that was true, that those are the only people that they would go after? Also, criminals deserve dignity as well, okay? They deserve to have a trial, to be proven guilty, to all these things. Like they you know, people don't just deserve to be sent to like concentration camps. They don't. I don't think anyone deserves that. And so that's why it's so crazy that Cenk fell for this shit and literally told her that, oh, Stephen Miller's fine. Stephen Miller is fine? You gotta be kidding me. He's one of the worst people in that administration. It's just, I was so mad when I heard that.
He said verbatim, if they go after the criminals, I have no problem with that. This was after we had already seen what Trump did in 2016 and 17 and 18 and whatever. First Trump term. So anyway, this is how that whole discussion went down. Debate with them, but afterward you want to go have a beer.
Yes, I do.
You want to have a beer with people who want to put people in mass deportation camps. They want to deport.
You think we're going to get put in camps? You sound... All right, anyway.
Okay, and I distinctly remember that because I remember him saying that, oh, that's far-fetched, you're so crazy, da-da-da. No, now look what's happened. People are dying every day. People are dying every day because they're not getting the medical care that they need. They are not getting any care. They are getting food with like worms in them, moldy food, sometimes even if they're getting food. People have gone missing. This is, it's a concentration camp. That's what this is. And when she was talking about it because she knew what was coming, that is exactly what has come to fruition. And Cenk looks so dumb sitting here thinking that she's overreacting because she wasn't. He's like all of those people who are now who said, oh, the liberals are overreacting, oh, the leftists are overreacting, they just want to cry. And now those same people are like, wow, I didn't mean it. I didn't want it to happen like this. So it wasn't far-fetched. Everyone saw what was coming, and Cenk either purposely didn't want to see it or is just very naive. I don't know. I don't know what it is.
You think I sound crazy? They're starting with... Okay. So he says, you sound great. You sound crazy is what he doesn't finish. And then he says, you think we're going to get put in camps. Now, I think there's like an implicit, I don't think that Cenk or I would get put in camps. I then try to reason with him and I'm like, there are a lot of Chinese immigrants who are being targeted. So I talk about sort of like, you know, my community. Then he says like, no, it's his community. He's going to be number one because he's Muslim. Chinese people. That's my family, dog. Like, what are you talking about?
That's such an excuse. Okay, they're going to start with Muslims. They're going to start with my people. Okay,
Sure,
if they
sure,
start
sure.
at all.
Yeah.
So stop hiding.
Okay, so then how does this line of argument make you any better? Then like how does this make it any better? You're saying, oh, they're gonna come from Muslims first, which I mean they have, but how are you sitting here essentially standing up for this, excusing this? And saying she's crazy for thinking the things that are going to happen that like they have literally happened. Everything she said that was going to happen has literally happened, and he's sitting there calling her crazy. No, it's actually happened, and you're the one who looks stupid. Like, you just look stupid. You look stupid, and you look like a pathetic grifter for sitting here and trying to tell everyone to the left of you that they're crazy when this is literally what's happening. So instead of fighting against the fascists, you helped usher them in and threw your own community under the bus, as well as a lot of other communities under the bus as well, just so you could have a beer with these fascists. It's despicable. And I'm glad that Francesca is going over this, because I do think that this is something that like Francesca and Emma, they get frustrated with. This is me being parasocial, but because I get frustrated with it, but that like so many people are looking at Anna and Cenk now when it comes to Palestine, which again, like I'm glad that they're so good on it. I'm glad people are listening. I'm glad that the tides are changing. What I will say though is it's a little frustrating because, you know, Cenk is using this UK ban as like a badge of honor, as like, see, I am fighting and I'm the real fighter and I'm the only fighter and blah, you know what I'm saying? And he was already doing that, and I think this just kind of bolstered his ego a little bit. And again, I don't think that should have happened to him. I think it's insane, and I think it's insane. I think that's all I can say. I think it's insane. And I don't know how much longer the UK is going to be able to get away with this, you know. Of course, they're an imperialist nation, so, you know, they can get away with whatever they want. But I just don't know how much longer their society is going to keep letting them act in this manner of just criminalizing everyone who's pro-Palestine, like no matter what, really. And it's insane. But I do get frustrated with Cenk because I don't know. Like, I just don't want people to forget that he helped usher this in, and he helped throw so many communities under the bus, including his own. And now he's trying to like claw back whatever progressive bona fides he ever had. And I don't know. It's a little frustrating. So I'm glad Francesca and Emma did this.
Behind vulnerable communities.
I'm hiding behind vulnerable communities.
Yes, you are. You're using them as human
standing in
shields.
front of vulnerable
You're using them as
communities.
you're using them as human shields. What a right-wing way to try to like pit people against Francesca, right? Like, oh, Francesca's crazy. You have to believe my right word perspective on things because Francesca's crazy and she's using these people like human shields, just like everyone says Hamas does. Isn't that crazy? Like, it's such a bizarre and like right-wing way to try to debate this.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
I'm in front of vulnerable communities.
Uh-huh.
I'm the most
I love how she's like,
I'm the most
sure.
endangered. I'm standing in front of vulnerable communities. This is what he told me, and I'm sorry to take you down memory lane.
No, I love it. I love going down memory lane because I feel like people should remember this, because I feel like Cenk is one of those, like, Cenk is someone who I don't think is in it to actually create any change, and I think he's in it for his ego. And I think that is abundantly clear in debates like these and when he talks like this, because it's almost like a cult leader, or I mean like Trump, where it's like, I alone am the person that is going to fix this, that can help this, that can fight against this. Like, I alone am that person. And he's not. Like, he's not, he's not. And so again, I just don't think I don't think he's in it necessarily like to change people's minds or to make any change. I think he's really just in it for his ego.
Now he is using the fact that the United Kingdom banned him to basically say, I was right because I'm the real victim. When it comes to the United States' anti-immigrant ICE extremist apparatus, it's me who's been the victim.
Well, also, and that again, and like her point beforehand is it's not the U.S. that's doing this, but also like I would like to also remind people of the parallels or just the input that the IDF and Israel has had on our policing in America, right? Like a lot of IDF soldiers, like Israel has trained a lot of our police officers. And I want to talk about this. I think I want to talk about this on like a short or something, or do it. I don't know. I want to talk about it at some point, but not like there was a dog that died the other day by a police officer because the dog was literally just walking up to them. There was a 1-year-old child that got shot to death, was killed by police officers because they thought the mom was stealing diapers or formula. Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? I don't even know how much diapers are, but is that worth killing a 1-year-old child? It's insane. Like, it's insane. And so when you look at things like this and you look at the brutality of it, but then you also look at the origins and how and where and how a lot of our police officers get trained, then yeah, it makes a lot of sense how brutal they're being. And like, you have to see the parallels of that, and you have to see the parallels. So if you're against Israel, you should also be against ICE and the policing in America. But Cenk is not. Cenk is not. And so it's just not it's not coherent.
He is.
A year and a half ago, as Donald Trump was getting into office, and they say, Cenk, you don't understand. He's going to hurt marginalized communities. And I'm like, I was born Muslim. I think I understand marginalized communities.
No, do you know what he is? He's literally like, it's so funny because Ben Shapiro is crying right now about the deal with Iran. It's like Ben Shapiro, it's like Candace Owens, it's like all of these people who are like, oh, I'm Jewish, oh, I'm black. He's like, oh, I'm Muslim. Or like white women, they're like, oh, well, I'm a woman. So you're saying I shouldn't support Trump? You think Trump is going to come after me? Yeah, I do, and he has. And so just because you're a woman, just because you're Muslim, just because you're Jewish, just because you're black, just because you're whoever, whatever, does not mean that you speak for a community and you can sit here and be like, well, I'm okay with Trump, so everybody else in my community should be. He's not going to go after my community like that because I like him. Or because I think that whatever they're doing is not that bad. So like, really? Everyone else in my community should think that too. No, you're being like Cenk has become the person, like, and I've said this so many times, but it's really astonishing to watch him become the exact person he always talked about, like, hating, it's wild. It's wild.
Okay. We've been greatly marginalized.
Yes.
So you don't need to lecture me about it, right? And she's like, no, we have to protect them by doing this, this, and this.
First of all, he doesn't name me, but he does say she. I went on leftist. I debated and then says she.
I'm like, but that doesn't protect those communities. It almost makes them look guilty, and that's why they had to shut down everyone else, right?
What?
I don't want to.
What is he? See, this doesn't even make sense. So you're blaming the marginalized communities. So you're blaming activists or leftists or people who stand up for marginalized communities. You're saying that us standing up for marginalized communities make those marginalized communities look guilty, so then the fascists have to go after them. Is that the ridiculous logic that Cenk has? And this is what I'm saying. This is why it's so frustrating that there are people that are looking to him now for commentary And it's frustrating because it's like, first of all, that's incoherent. It doesn't even make any sense. Like, the way he's saying it is even incoherent. Like, I'm not even really quite sure what he's trying to say. I'm just going off of what I think he's saying. And it just, they're like, it's like, oh, you made them do this. Like, you sticking up for trans people, you like, and that's the right wingers essentially. That's their point of view. That's right wingers' point of view. That's a lot of like corporate Dem point of view. That's a lot of that is a lot of people to the right of leftist point of view that, oh, you stand up for trans people, that's causing problems. And so you're making them go after trans people because you have the audacity to stand up for them, or you have the audacity to fight for them. Which is ridiculous, which is insane. Like, how would we get anywhere? How would we get any progressive policies done? How would we do anything if we didn't stand up for marginalized communities? Like, how would we get anything done? How would we make it so everyone is equal, so everyone has equal rights? How would we do that if we just say, well, if I stand up for that community, then, well, they're just going to have to go after us. They're just going to have to be fascists and go after us. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Wait, what?
Yeah, see, it doesn't even make any sense.
Guilty? What
Of
makes
what?
them look of what? What makes who look guilty? Standing up for your rights? As Anna says, when you're flying foreign flags, as Angelinos were protesting ICE raids a year ago, and she was freaking out about flying foreign flags.
Which is so ridiculous. And it's so crazy because literally we're having like the Olympics, we're having the World Cup, and of course there are it's about all of these countries coming together, and you have other people's flags everywhere. So does that mean that there's something wrong? Is it, oh my God, is it anti-American? Like, it's delusional. It's delusional. And it's honestly like, it shows the insecurities, right? I think people who want to consistently insist that America's the best, America's the greatest, that's what they've been told all their life. That's what they've believed all their life. And so they feel that if they now say, well, we're actually not the best, that is somehow it kind of dents their ego a bit, right? Because they're like, well, I believe this for so long, it has to be correct, right? Like, my parents think this, my family thinks this, like, it has to be correct. But you deep down that this is not the best country in the world. We are not number one, and on and on and on, right? And I think people feel such a sense of like, you know, a lot of people base their personality or their stances or whatever around America, right? And it's this nationalism that we are taught and grown up with in this country. And so I think that they're so insecure about that feeling that they keep fighting themselves. So they have to sit here and be like, no, America's the best and don't fly any other flags because that's insane and that's anti-American and da-da-da-da. And you have to get all mad because you know America's not the best. You know, like someone flying a different flag other than an American flag should not be this huge thing and be like, oh my God, it's anti-American. Oh my God. But like, it like that should not make you that insecure. I mean, it's also what the right wingers were saying. So it's like, and so they were like, oh, well, you shouldn't give them a reason to complain. They're going to complain no matter what you do. Like, right-wingers are going to complain no matter what happens. It doesn't matter what you do. They will put a spin on it and complain about it. That is what they do. So, like, it's stupid to sit here and like, don't give them a reason to complain. They're always going to complain.
Does that make immigrants look guilty of what being an immigrant,
right,
being Mexican?
I don't want to pull an Israel and cancel anyone who doesn't agree with us. So why don't we just debate them and win the debate? And
you didn't win the debate. You didn't win the debate. And okay, go debate Sam Cedar. Debate Sam Cedar, Cenk. Debate, I swear to God, debate Sam Cedar. And every time, last time you debated Hassan, it was horrible. It was horrible. It was so boring. It was boring. I remember Thanksgiving last year was boring. I wonder what Thanksgiving is going to be like this year. But it's just like, you have done these debates, but you're doing them with right wingers where you're essentially agreeing with them the whole time and giving them the benefit of the doubt, even though deep down you know they're lying, but you're giving them the benefit of the doubt and you're agreeing with them most of the time. Like, that's what Cenk does when he's talking to right wingers. So it's like no one is winning that debate. You're just agreeing with them. And then second of all, you debated Francesca. You didn't win. And now you like won't debate any other leftists. You like barely talk to anyone to the left of you anymore. So who are you debating? Who are you debating? And who are you winning against? Because it wasn't Francesca.
No, you don't understand, etc. Well, guess who got banned? I got banned, not them. So, like I told you, yes, it affects me the most, and I still say don't ban speech. And I
love how he's like, it affects me the most. Poor little victim Cenk. First of all, Hassan also got banned, okay? And I think Hassan had a lot more to do with the banning than probably Cenk did. That's just my personal opinion. I don't think Cenk has that much motion as Hassan does, but he does go on Piers Morgan a lot, so I don't know. But he's like, no, it's me. Like I'm the one who's gonna be, nothing. Like, you just got banned. Like, I don't think it's okay, and I don't think that's wrong. But like, nothing physically happened to you. Like no one is like physically coming after you. And you're like, oh my God, I'm the martyr. I'm Mr. Martyr. But like, and Francesca's gonna say this, but you are not the one, like, you are not you're not like the biggest victim in this, right? Palestinians are. The Palestinians that are being genocided, that are still being killed and murdered right now, even though there's supposed to be a ceasefire, those are the people that are suffering right now. The people in ICE detention, essentially concentration camps, that are dying, that are getting sick because of the treatment and the lack of care that you laughed at and thought was ridiculous and crazy, even though it's happening right now, that just don't seem to care about. Those are the people that are suffering from this, not you. And that doesn't mean that I think it was okay what the UK did, because I don't think it is. I think it's psychotic. I do. But he is not the ultimate victim in this, and now he's using this as like some kind of like martyr. And like I said, it's the kind of personality, it's the kind of ego, like a cult leader, like Trump, like people like that. It really is. Like, it really is.
The minute you start saying, hey, that's a white person or that's a Christian person, there should be different rules for them, then you're going to empower the people who say, well, then there should be different rules for Muslims or Jews. Or
no one's saying different rules.
Dude, his logic is all over the goddamn road.
Yeah, he's not making any sense.
Like, I didn't have an opportunity to go to the UK, so I haven't been banned. I don't really know that he and Hassan both had speaking engagements, right? And that's why they were even in this situation.
Yes.
Once again, I just want to reiterate, unconscionable attack on free speech, and Cenk and Hassan should have absolutely been able to go to the UK, but it also just shows the ignorance of like what we're actually dealing with here right now. Keir Starmer and the Labour Party and the UK have been even more arguably censorious than the United States right now on this issue. Although, look, Trump and his usage of like incarcerating critics of Israel, like Mahmoud Khalil and Rumea Ozturk, among others, like that's incredibly extreme. But him not being allowed to go to the UK, I just want to make it clear, we stand steadfastly against it. It's just like, there's this impulse right now, and it's on right-wing media, but I guess also centrist media, which is kind of my view of how Cenk kind of positions himself right now.
Yes. It is centrism.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It definitely is. Like, there's this obsession with,
and I wonder, like, again, I don't watch TYT anymore, so I don't know, but like, does he call himself a progressive still? Like, I think in TYT they took that off of like the as their, as their like slogan or whatever, that they're the home of the progressives. Like I think they took that off their website now. But I don't know how Cenk, I know Anna is like, she's politically homeless or whatever the hell she wants to say, but I don't know what Cenk is saying. I don't know how he looks at himself,
with placing yourself as the main character and in the center of the story. Like, they're learning this from Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson. Look at what's happening to me. It's the influencerification, the reality TV-ification of news coverage, and that's not really what I'm interested in. I think that it's much more impactful to uplift voices of people who aren't media figures with major platforms.
Yes.
Talk about what they're experiencing.
Yes, I mean, look,
on the front lines.
My whole thing with them is they don't even have Palestinian voices on the show. They had Bassem Youssef on. That's great. He's Egyptian. He also, like, it's good that they finally took him a while, right, to have somebody who has also been targeted. But here's my thing. Eve, what Cenk is saying.
Bassem Youssef is out here like singing Candace Owens' praises, which I'm not too fond of. Really surprised me, but hey.
Is so wrong on a million levels. Number one, in 2024, he laughs at me for saying there would be camps or that people would be rounded up. Well, then he gets rounded up. So then what? I actually was proven correct. I was proven correct. If you believe, if that clip shows that I was right, he was targeted. There you go. He says, oh, no, you think it sounds crazy? No, he was targeted, right? Who was he targeted by? He was targeted by the UK, not the United States. Him in the United States, he's coddling the balls of all these right-wingers. Yeah. He's going on. And the last thing I'll say is, when he says, they're saying don't debate them, I'm sorry, never had I ever said don't debate them. Never. It's the way that he was debating them was effectively offering an olive branch of the left is crazy. I know they're crazy. I'm a leftist that makes sense. I'm a Muslim who isn't extreme. I'm someone who you can work with. All them, they're nuts. And he's on the podcast of The Spectator, which is a right-wing podcast, doing the same thing, bringing my name up like he did with Jillian Michaels, like he just did with Piers Morgan, right? He always brings me up as this example of this extremist leftist, and he does it on right-wing shows, and then he twists the narrative. So not only was he not targeted by the United States, it was the UK, but on top of that, I never said don't debate right-wingers. I said stop coddling their balls. Stop rolling out the red carpet. If you're going to go on their show, debate them and destroy them. Don't then go out for a beer and say, don't we all get along? No, that's bullshit, because they are white nationalists. And the day before I did that debate with him, he goes on Mark Lamont Hill and is basically like, I don't think Charlie Kirk is a white nationalist. And in fact, I don't appreciate that language. And I think that effectively the same thing that the right says, which is you calling Trump a Nazi is Nazism.
Yeah.
And
that's the problem, and that's what Cenk is doing. And I like that they kind of point this out, but that is essentially what Cenk is doing. Cenk is saying, like, it's like when he was talking about standing up for marginalized communities. It's like the simple fact that you are standing up to these fascists, you are standing up for marginalized communities. Because you are doing that is the reason that they are going after you. It's not that they're going after you because they're fascists and because they're white nationalists. No, it's because you want to actually call them out for being that. But we can't say that they're white nationalists. It's stupid and it's ridiculous, and it's what's gotten us to this point, right? It is what has ushered in fascism. It is people like Cenk, and he's acting like all these corporate Democrats. All of them sat here and said, I don't want to ruffle any feathers. I don't want to make any noise. And in fact, and I heard this while I was door knocking once, is that, someone didn't like Cori Bush because Cori Bush, like, embarrassed us or something because she did that protest when she first got into office. And so I think people look at that. If you make too much noise, if you stand up for too much, then that puts a target on your back, and that's why they're being fascist. Not because they're fascist, not because this is the things that are happening right now are decades, have been in the plans for decades for the Republican Party. This is not just here because of Trump. These are things that the Republican Party has always wanted, right? They always wanted to get rid of Roe versus Wade. They still want to get rid of Obergefell. Like, these are things that they have consistently wanted to do throughout time, and now they just found the person to do it. This is not a new phenomenon. This is something that has been in the works for decades. And so just because, the simple fact that people are willing to call it out is not why they're going after people. They're going after people because this is what they have wanted the whole time. This is what the Republican Party has wanted for decades. And so that is just illogical. It is illogical, and it's not true. And yeah, it's illogical, and it's not true, and it just makes me so pissed off because it just makes me so pissed off because you can't sit here and be like, oh, the corporate Democrats, they're pathetic, they're milquetoast, they're not doing anything, and then literally use the same talking points as them. Literally saying, he didn't want to call Charlie Kirk a white nationalist, and he didn't like that language. And the fact that people were calling him a white nationalist is why he was going after leftists. No. And he was a white nationalist. Yes, he was. Just like Stephen Miller's a white nationalist. Just like Pete Hegseth is a white nationalist. Just like Tucker Carlson. Actually, no. Let me add. Tucker Carlson is a white nationalist. Cenk's buddy, Tucker Carlson, a white nationalist. All right. That's the video today. I told you I would get animated. Or that this made me angry. This video made me so angry. Cenk makes me angry on another level because I just hate his personality. I hate his personality. I do. I hate it. I hate it because it reminds me of some of the people I hate the most in my life. And so anytime he talks that way, it really just gets me and frustrates me. So yeah. Anyway, that's the video today. If you like this video, please like and subscribe and turn on post notifications. And I have a membership, and yeah. Well, all right. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I love you all. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.